I had known for a few months that in April I would be going to the Bay Area for work. I would have a free evening on my second night, and my plan was to photograph the Golden Gate Bridge from Hawk Hill. However, as my plane began its descent into SFO, I checked the weather satellite and saw a cloud bank near the bridge. Thoughts of low clouds and fog were enough to convince myself I had an hour to run up to the bridge before heading to San Jose for work. I returned the next evening for sunset, and this is my photography adventure in San Francisco.
Welcome to another Explore Everyday video, and welcome to the Bay Area in San Francisco. I am out here for work this week, staying down in San Jose one night and up in San Francisco the second night. And we have a couple things going on. I am busy with work. We do have a solar storm going on tonight. G3 storm watch right now. Catching aurora in San Francisco will be pretty epic, but we're pretty socked in with clouds. I will be able to get out tomorrow night for a sunset and Thursday morning for a sunrise. Work in between, but another destination, San Francisco. Stick around and let's see what I can find.
This is my only shot from the quick afternoon trip from SFO to the bridge. While I've been to San Francisco a number of times, I've never explored the traditional bridge views. This was all new to me, and I was already pushing my luck on timing and had to get a quick picture. I didn't get clouds covering the bridge, but they were still very moody, which makes for a nice sky. It was really windy, and I wanted to pull the purple flowers into my composition for a splash of foreground color. I knew I should probably focus stack the flowers, but with the wind it would be tough to get a sharp shot. So I went with the out of focus foreground to highlight the bridge in the sky as the centerpiece. Then it was off to San Jose. As I crept my way north through the Bay Area traffic, I was encouraged as the blue sky and sun started to mix with marine clouds as I got closer to San Francisco. I had visions of fog rivers spilling into the valleys at Blue Hour. Maybe the bridge would play hide and seek with the rolling clouds as darkness fell. Nothing like starting an adventure with unlikely and unrealistic, but not impossible, expectations.
In 2 miles, take exit 442 for Alexander Avenue.
Alright, work is finally done. I had a trade show down in San Jose the last 2 days, wrapped that up at 4 o'clock today, and drove back up to San Francisco where I'm staying tonight. And I am now up at Hawk Hill, overlooking the city and the Golden Gate Bridge. I was hoping for a little more light, a little more atmosphere, hopefully some low clouds that are actually covering part of the bridge. I don't think I'm going to get that tonight. We did have some interesting light hitting the city a bit ago, so I took some shots of that. That I'll show you here at some point, but I'm going to hang up here until dark. I have about an hour until sunset tonight, and maybe I'll set up a time lapse to catch the blue hour and the lights coming on in the city. Not quite sure, because if I keep going on this, once I'm gone, I can't get back to here without going like all the way around, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. So that is kind of the plan. I might hang out here or go exploring and see where the evening takes me. We have 1 hour till sunset, so hopefully we get some different clouds, a marine layer to blow in, something to change. Fingers crossed.
This is probably one of those scenes that looks better in real life than in a picture. It almost doesn't look real in the photo. The swath of light slowly crept across the city from right to left. I think the missing element is you can't identify the light source. There are no directional light beams. While it looked really cool in person, I'm not sure the image works. After hanging out at Hawk Hill for a while, I found myself in no man's land. There were no dramatic low clouds near the bridge, there was no natural light, and the city lights weren't coming on yet. I decided to drive beyond Hawk Hill, which meant my road turned into a one-way road. The good news was it took me to the coast. However, I didn't know how long it would take me or how quickly I could get back to Hawk Hill to capture Blue Hour. But look at that light out on the horizon. What I like most about this image is not necessarily the light on the ocean, but the grand scale and perspective the ocean offers. See those black dots in the surf? Those are surfers, who I didn't even see from my elevated vantage point when I took this shot. It's a gentle reminder how small we are in this world. After a few minutes on the coast, I made my way back to Hawk Hill for Blue Hour, and conditions started to get a bit more atmospheric. Low clouds covered the tall buildings, and the city lights were starting to turn on.
So where to begin? I haven't really shot a whole lot since I've been up here. I now have a time lapse going over behind a bush over. I have a time lapse running over here behind a bush. I'll kind of on a little point here. Gonna kind of do a day to night here as the lights come on in San Francisco. We did have some atmosphere come through. We had clouds, fog blowing right over where I'm at now, but it quit almost as quickly as it began. So now I just have one time lapse going. There are low clouds kind of going over the city. So we're gonna keep shooting the time lapse, and that's probably it for tonight. I did drive around this over to the coast and got some interesting light that was way out in the ocean, so I took a picture of that, but nothing too remarkable tonight, but just a nice night here in San Francisco and just enjoying what daylight we have left. I think my time here on Hawk Hill is about done. This has been a really discombobulated video so far, just little segments, taking some pictures. I don't think there's any wall hangers here or anything like that, but gonna let this kind of finish getting dark here. I still have my time lapse running, so I have to be out of here in like 30 minutes. They lock the gate, and I don't need more gate locking experiences on these trips. So there's one more overlook kind of down the hill. I'm gonna go stop there, just get a different vantage point. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do tomorrow morning. I took a later flight so I could come back up here. It took me an hour to get here. Now that was in rush hour, but I'll be coming back up here in rush hour tomorrow morning going into the city. So I'm gonna have to do some investigating, see if there's anything closer to where I'm at. I mean, this is iconic San Francisco. I mean, everyone has this shot. I don't, now I do. So I feel like it kind of was one of those shots you had to come get. Like I said earlier, I was hoping for a little more of that rolling fog. Maybe in the morning. Sunrise will be off that way, so we'll be shooting into the sunrise. So yeah, maybe we'll be back here in the morning. Might be a surprise. I'm gonna sign off for the evening here. Maybe go take a couple more shots down the hill. I'll put those up now, and then we'll start over fresh in the morning.
After a busy day and a half of work, a round trip to San Jose, and 2 trips to the bridge in San Francisco traffic, I just couldn't muster the energy to be back at the bridge before sunrise. I called Delta and got my flight switched to 6:30 a.m. to be back home by lunchtime. And now on to the final images. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.